We know what that means. It's time for LA2M. Welcome everybody. This is LA2M. My name is Derek Maribon. I started this group eight years ago, and we meet every Wednesday. And we have some really great people who are involved in this group, which you will meet, we'll talk about. But just curious, anyone here at LA2M for your very first LA2M? First timers, okay, welcome. Welcome, glad you made it. We do meet almost every Wednesday. So we take off July and August and Christmas, but we're usually here every Wednesday. And we have brilliant speakers. You have to reach a certain intelligence quotient to even be asked to speakers. So our speakers are very smart, which you will see shortly. And we do fun stuff. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. So LA2M, we hold this marketing education series, and I don't know, we've been doing it for a while. So the lunch, you can get lunch through counters, which is great. They have great lunch, full menus on the table. We do charge $5 at the entrance, but that's because we have some hard costs. I mean, it's expensive to run a weekly event program. So anyways, we actually, there's some big news going on here. So our longtime employee of LA2M, Mary Lou Olds, today is her last day. Which is kind of sad. I mean, I get a little choked up just thinking about it. But Mary Lou has been really important part of LA2M. She's booked the speakers. She organizes our check-in. She handles our promotion. She does a ton, and she did it all for a. You know, we paid her a little bit, but I think she really did it out of the goodness of her heart. And she's a wonderful, wonderful person. So hopefully she'll still keep coming back. But let's give her a round of applause. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna miss Mary Lou, and hopefully she won't go far, but she is like quote unquote retiring, which is sad. So actually, Andrea, who's sitting next to her, Andrea Kelly, who works at Ingenix Digital Marketing, is going to be picking up some of the slack, which would be great. So Andrea Kelly, you'll get to meet her. And then the board is going to be dividing some things up. So board members, Jim Musil is our vice president, Carter Sherline is on the board, Roger Rill is on the board, Stacy Collick is on the board, myself, and there's a few other board members. Ross Johnson is not here from 3.7 Designs, and Anthony Nitzos, who does our finances. So the board is going to pick up the slack, but we are looking for volunteers. I mean, this is a volunteer organization. We just show up here every week. We don't necessarily make money on this, but we do it because it's fun and because you know, it's a good opportunity to speak. Jim, do you want to talk about sponsorships, please?
Hi everybody, and if you notice, it's going to take like 5 or 6 of us to do Mary Lou's job, so it kind of gives you an indication of what a great job and how much work she does. LA2M is very fortunate to have sponsors who help us put on these programs every week. Without their generosity and support, we wouldn't be able to be here every week. So we have a few sponsors that we wanted to recognize. We have our platinum sponsor is Briarwood Mall, and we're very fortunate to have Briarwood Mall as the platinum sponsor. On the back table, right where you walk in the doors, we have a little table with some information. Denise Murray is the marketing director for Briarwood Mall. Her card is there. If you're interested in the opportunities or would like to learn about opportunities for marketing at the mall, please pick up her card and send her a direct message. She would love to hear from you. We also have a gold sponsor, and that's Washtenaw Community College. We also have brochures on the back table for them as well. They have great workforce development programs for people like us who want to maybe change jobs and transition or in transition in our careers, and we need some new skills. Washtenaw Community College has some great programs that can help with that. So please pick up some literature in the back and take a look into that. We also have a monthly sponsor. Derek, don't go away. You want to So we have a monthly sponsor, and each month is a different company. This month is Ingenix Digital Marketing, so that's why I asked Derek to stay for a second, because he's going to talk again. But we are also looking for additional sponsors for next month. So if your company, or if you personally are interested in a sponsorship, we'd love to talk to you. See myself or Derek. Great benefits to it. We have a qualified mailing list of close to 2,000 people, people who are involved with LA2M, people like yourself. That the newsletter goes out to. Your information, your logo would be in that email every month. You get the opportunity to stand out there like Derek's going to do in a minute, tell us a little bit about your company. So We'd love to have you as a sponsor. If you're interested, again, please see myself or Derek. This month's sponsor is Ingenix Digital Marketing.
Yeah. And I encourage you to be a sponsor. It's a great opportunity for small companies to get exposure. So Ingenix focuses on lead generation. We are an inbound marketing agency. Thanks, Carter. We're an inbound agency. We're located right here in Ann Arbor, and we have some amazing clients, clients that really want to grow their business and who need more qualified leads. So if you know anyone or if that's what you do, let us know, and we'd be happy to talk with you. You know me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Derek. So we're very appreciative of our sponsors. One last thing on your table are these small cards, little business-sized cards. If you enjoyed today's presentation, which I know you will, please take this card with you. Put it on your desk as a reminder that we're here every Wednesday, or if you want, take two. We have more in the back. Give it to a colleague or a coworker, or maybe someone you meet that could use some marketing help, or maybe they're looking for a new position within marketing. We encourage you. We'd love to have new visitors here, so please come back again and see us. Share LA2M with one of your friends or colleagues. So thanks for being here, and I'll turn it back over to Derek.
Great. Jim, did you land a February sponsor just yet?
No.
Okay, so we're looking for a February sponsor. If anybody wants to do that, it's only $250. Our newsletter goes out to almost 2,000 people throughout Southeast Michigan, educated marketing types, and then you also get to promote your event here. So if anybody wants to sponsor, $250. Anybody looking for a sponsorship? Offhand? Anybody? Okay, it's okay, you don't have to. But if you want to, talk to Jim or myself and we'll get you signed up. One more thing before we introduce our speaker. We have a t-shirt, which is sponsored by, come on up here, Henry. Henry's gonna get this t-shirt. This is brought to you by, we're gonna take a quick photo with this guy. This is brought to you by Bank of Ann Arbor.
I gotta deal with the size difference here, so
Yeah.
I gotta get rid of one.
And every week we take a picture of the t-shirt. So Henry, wear that with pride. That is your LA2M t-shirt.
Thank you.
Because Bank of Ann Arbor helps clothe our speakers. And just to give you an idea, Henry's going to talk for approximately 30 minutes. There will be some time for Q&A. And then at 12:45, you can introduce yourself, which is great. And we ask that you stand up when you do that and introduce yourself. We go all the way around the room. And we always finish by 1 p.m. So you can plan on that so you can get back to wherever you're going to be. Work, wherever you go at 1 p.m. You leave. Or you can stay and talk if you want, but we'll get you out by then. Great. And I'm not going to be here the whole program because I have a big client meeting far away that I got to drive to.
Derek, I
Yes.
gotta tell you this, there was a horrible expression. I wanna shoot that again.
Oh yeah?
That was, you don't wanna see that picture.
Okay. Well, just don't use it. Don't use it. It's okay.
Well, we'll get another one later.
All right. Get one later with Jim. Okay. Yeah, we have sometimes photography bad expressions. So anyways, thanks, Carter.
Yeah, I do take out, if you look really horrible, I will take you out.
All right.
And at request of some people, I will edit beyond my taste.
All right. So our speaker today is a really cool guy. His name's Henry. He's done some amazing things. He is Chief Technology Officer or something?
Yeah, something.
He's Chief Technology Officer at this cool company, which has a really nice name called Stratos. And they make some sort of all-in-one credit card.
I could talk about it.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. But the point is, Henry's awesome, and he's a Spartan. And he's a Spartan. Speaking of, we have the head of the MSU Alumni Association in the back of the room. So Scott Westerman's here. Thank you for being here, Scott Westerman. Any other Spartans in the room? We have a few green. green So anyways, let's give Henry Balanon a warm round of applause and welcome him. Henry Balanon.
Thanks. So today I'm going to be talking about our perspective. We just went through vetting some agencies, earned media agency, PR agency, and I wanted to walk through kind of our perspective of this and our thought process when we were choosing these agencies. And hopefully you can take some of these data points and incorporate them into what you're doing. Just some company background. We're launching a Bluetooth credit card, a connected card that holds all of your cards. We raised around $6 million in venture capital. We're launching later this year, and we were looking for, for that launch, we were looking for a PR firm to help connect us with journalists and publications to help us with that launch. A little bit about my background. I'm the co-founder and chief technology officer of Stratos, and then before this, I co-founded a mobile app agency called Detroit Labs. I'm going to start with talking about how we started vetting the list. How did we go from the millions or thousands, hundreds of thousands of PR firms, all over the world to a few that we wanted to contact? So, the question is, who do we go to? The first thing that we did is we asked our CMO. Our CMO exited her company to Adobe, has worked with a ton of agencies, and so we started the list there, asked who she worked with, who was good, who was bad, and then we did the same with one of our board members who also had a marketing background. And so the result of that is, for the first initial list, we got referrals from trusted people. And then we needed a little bit more. So then we started drawing parallels of a brand that we respected, and then in our industry. So in our case, we really drew parallels with ourselves with GoPro and Fitbit and other wearables. And the reason is that GoPro and Fitbit, they're not very, very old companies. They started as nothing, as a consumer electronic company, as nothing, and then made, national headlines and became a huge, huge name, household names. And so that's what we aspire to be as well. And so we found out who their agencies of records are, and then we added them to the list as well. All of them tended to be successful products, and if we looked at an agency that had, for us, weak or unrecognizable clients, our assumption or our thought process was that they weren't the agency for us because they weren't able to catapult the brands that they were working with into a household name. Something about us too is that we were at a certain stage of a company. We're relatively unknown, so absolutely unknown. So marketing someone like Ford or GM or any of those agencies, it's different than marketing, an unknown like us. And we wanted to go from an unknown to a known, so we evaluated the PR firms according to what kind of companies they work with. And so one of the agencies that we really like, and I'll label them good agency, they were with Fitbit. So when Fitbit launched, they were a year and a half delayed. They did the pre-sale, they did the Kickstarter type thing before Kickstarter was a thing. They were a year and a half delayed. They had to put out a lot of fires with their backers, things like that. And that person, or that agency, was with them for 7 years. So they took Fitbit from nothing, stayed with them to what they are now, and that was really relevant for us. So we really thought that was a good thing. And that's kind of how we got our PR list. And then we wanted to do kind of initial contact things as well. So this is before we received the proposal. So we wanted to make first contact. We took our list and then we started contacting them one at a time. We wanted to get on the phone with them, hear what they had to say. Good agencies tended to respond within an hour or two. Bad agencies took over 2 days, or multiple emails of us saying, hey, can you answer us? Please, can you answer us? To get a response. And then our thoughts were, how they're treating us now is how they're going to respond to us when we work with them. So those are all data points coming to us. So we got on the first phone call with, good and bad agencies. And then for the good agency, you could just tell in their voice whether they're enthusiastic about our product. You could tell they did a little bit of research. They think it's a cool idea. They're really passionate about the space, or they seem that way anyway, before even talking to us. Bad agency, I know we had one specifically that within probably like 3 minutes was asking our budget. And just the tone, it wasn't nice. It was very off-putting for us. And so our thoughts there, at least what we internalized, was the enthusiasm about our company reflects how enthusiastic they'll be if we're their client. And then we went through a phase, still pre-proposal as we were learning more about the agency. And so, as we were learning about the agencies, bad agency was late and unprepared. I think we were in New York talking to an agency, and we ended up, waiting in an office with a biz dev person because the founders, the president, anyone who needed to be involved, they were busy doing stuff. And then when they did arrive, they ended up asking us like who we were, what are we there for. They had no idea we were even coming. And for us, that wasn't good for us. But for the good agency, obviously the good agency did the opposite of that. But on top of that, we met with good agencies, and for them, I don't know how they did it. They did it pretty strategically, but they made it sound like, and it may or may not be true, that they turned down 95% of potential clients. So that, in conjunction with having a good client list or fit that initial mold as far as our vetting process, that gave a little bit of scarcity to them as a potential agency. And I know as we were going through and learning about the agencies, the agency people tended to talk very, very fast, but you could always tell if they were missing something or if they didn't do research. A lot of the bad agencies tended to be late and unprepared, and just by the nature of observation, we were able to tell. But as far as the scarcity thing, it was a weird dynamic, and I knew what was happening, but for whatever reason, that scarcity of good agencies turning down clients, so the other way around, that made us chase them. So that flipped our dynamic. We kept saying, oh gosh, we really need to impress them so we could give them money. So it was a weird dynamic. So we put a RFP out. We set a deadline. Bad agency, and this is an observation, bad agency was late for their proposal. However, good agency was also late with their proposals, so most agencies were late. Bad agencies tended to be grossly late, and they weren't that sorry about that. But everyone was late. I think that's a normal thing with agencies. For us, it didn't really affect our decision unless it was weeks and weeks and weeks late. Yeah. Let's see. So in the time that we were doing the courting process, we noticed that the good agency also followed us on Twitter on all of our accounts. For us, it shouldn't be a big thing, but for us, that's something that we had noticed and gave us positive data points. The good agency also tended to, as the courting process was going on, they started treating us like their clients. So they would send us relevant industry articles, all those things. A lot of them looked very thoughtful, and we could tell the really active agencies from the bad agencies who would just, okay, call me in a week, and then they don't contact us. But our internal thoughts were, if they're treating us like this now, imagine if we're their clients. We really appreciated some of the competitive analysis that they were sending us. They were sending us articles on our competitors, as well as how the financial technology space was evolving. They were sending articles, pretty new articles, so they weren't all like as they came up. They must have had some sort of alert or something, but they were all pretty relevant, and it really gelled well with us. And then it was time to go through the proposals that we received. And I'll just go through the good and bad things for the good agencies and bad agencies. I'll start with the bad agency. A lot of the proposals was too much information on the agency. And I know that we did this on Detroit Labs. We talked about ourselves a lot. The agencies tend to, here are all of our accomplishments, and that's great. But when it dominates, 70 or 80% of the deck, that's a little too much, and that was a little off-putting for us. As far as the context, because it was really focused on the company, we could tell that it was generically a part of every single pitch that they sent. So it was like 2 or 3 pages of something specifically to us, and then 90 pages on whatever that agency was. And there wasn't enough specific to what we were doing, which made us think that they weren't thinking in the context of how they were going to help us or about our industry. Also what we noticed is that a majority of the proposal, not RFP, the majority of the proposal could be found on their website, so it tended to be things that we already knew. Now for the good agency proposal, we found that it was the reverse. There was not that much on the company, and their accomplishments. More specific on our company and product and how they would execute that strategy. So we would see detailed timelines, roadmap, all specific for us, and really talk through solving the problem that we're having versus just look how cool we are. You should work with us because these companies think we're cool. But what we found with both the good and bad agencies is that it always lacked the timeline and execution strategy and lacked the details that we were looking for. So we had to pick kind of the best set of the bunch there. But just for future reference, good agencies were slightly better, but in our observations, all agencies need to improve upon this. But I do acknowledge that it does take a lot of work to put all that together, so there is a balance. But for us, in order for us to make a slam dunk decision, we just wanted more. And I'm sure there are other companies that wanted to see a little more as well. And then it came down to the pitch. So after the proposal, we narrowed it down to maybe 2 or 3 marketing firms. The bad agency pitches, they tended to bring not enough people. So I remember that one of the agencies came and visited us from, I think, New York or California. We had 6 people in the room, including an investor. I think for that one too, we had one of our board members come in or call in as well, and they brought 2 people. And one of the people, they weren't the people working on the account as well. And then they did the same thing with the same generic sales slides about how the agency works. And then I put this picture in here because this is what one of the good agencies did when they came in for the pitch. They got a bunch of custom cookies. They had people like artists write logos on them. We were once called Echo Cards, so they even had a big cookie up there that they painted with the Echo. One of our competitors, they put a little no sign on. But it was something that we had noticed. And so when the good agencies came to pitch, we noticed a few things that were really valuable, or at least really good data points for us. I remember one came in the night before for dinner and drinks and didn't force business talk. So they really got to know us as people. We talked business just inherently, but it wasn't sales. It wasn't salesy. They weren't trying to sell us. We were just all trying to get to know each other, and that was a very heavy data point for us. And as I showed, there were cookies from the good agency. That was something that stood out to us, even though it really shouldn't affect anything. but it did a little. When the good agency, and this is an example, when good agency came to pitch, they actually did a man on the street video, which is they went out on the streets of California and they did an informal survey as far as, would you use this card? What's your number one concern? And they would record that video talking to strangers just in the street. And for us, that was above and beyond. And again, we're taking in those data points and saying, okay, if they're doing that for us now, what are they going to do for us when we're their client? Good agency, they flew people. I mean, sometimes in excess amount of people, from all sorts of different places. They say, okay, this is not only your team, but people in the background who might be working on it, and here are their different departments. And they're all experts in something, and we brought them just in case you have a question on this. I want to make sure that the experts in here to talk through that. So that was very nice as well. The good agencies brought managing partners. It wasn't just the biz dev person. And they also, this was really important for us, they brought in the actual person who we would be talking to on a day-to-day basis. We did have some bad agencies. It would just be the person who's really good at pitching. But for us, we really, really wanted to talk to the person managing our account. And with the pitch too, just the opposite side of the generic, they really focused on, okay, this is what we foresee you guys doing. So it was less about here's all the cool things about our company, and they really focused it and tailored it to what we were doing. So for both the good and bad agencies, I have 2 points here. Both of them love to show off their clients. A lot of them, because we're looking at consumer electronics, they really love the logos on their site. So they like to take a lot of credit for the success of some of these companies, and I think it's a good move, and it could get a little excessive, but I think it's very important. But they both tend to show the logos of their clients, especially if they're well known. And another thing too, what we notice is that people love to name drop their connections in journalism, which is good and bad. It tended to get excessive by the end of it. However, we had seen a lot of pitches already. So in the beginning, maybe the first or second pitch, we were, wow, you have that relationship. But then by the end of it, we were hearing the same names, we were hearing the same publications, and for us it got a bit old, but I think it's still important to hit, just not too much. And then post-pitch, good agencies, they sent emails, they continued to be helpful. They treated, and as I mentioned before, they continued to treat us as if we were their client. They were trying, not set things up for us, but they were, their emails were around strategy and what should we do with launch, and you guys should do this, and hop on phone calls with us, send us articles, industry articles, things like that. We had an agency, or maybe even two, call us every day, and their only questions were, have we reviewed the proposal, have we reviewed the pitch, what are next steps, how can we get things signed, which is absolutely important in business. You do have to do the ask, but when you're doing it every day, that's not okay, unless you're providing value. And so for us, and I'll talk about the phases here, all of the data points leading up to the proposal, we were already 70% sure of who we were choosing. When we moved after the proposal, after we received it, we're 80 to 90% sure of who we're choosing. And then, right after the pitch, we were 100% sure. Well, what does that mean? It means that, for us, the race was pretty much almost over before the proposal was even received for some of the firms that we were working with. after the proposal, it was like almost all the way over already. So by the time it came to the pitch, there was either a perception deficit or there was a perception surplus. And by then, they were either on one side or the other, and the pitch itself usually wasn't great enough or bad enough to shift that too much either way. But to recap on some of our lessons or some of the things that we were thinking, for us, referrals are king, and this is back to the pre-vetting process. We didn't look at a lot of marketing firms because they didn't have the clients that we were looking for. So for us, we were looking for national coverage. We were looking for consumer electronics, and that quickly eliminated the field. And what tended to happen when we look at these agencies, they tended to have clients that were kind of in a similar space. There were parallels that could be drawn through each brand. And so I know with Detroit Labs, and at least this is my suspicion, their goal was to be largely regional, so they hired a regional marketing firm. For us, it was national, so we needed to do something a little bit different. Another point here is, it seemed like you turned work down a lot without sounding arrogant. Client's choice is pretty much done before the pitch, as I mentioned. And for us, the over-communicating, that really gave us some positive vibes, really gave that perception surplus a little bit more. Communicating as if the potential client is super valuable. We could tell with the tone of people's voices and the work that they put in, whether they were enthusiastic or not. It shouldn't have been a thing, but doing things like the wining and dining and the custom cookies and the man on the street, things that were different and very, very nice, they actually affected things quite a bit. And then, just basically act like you're their agency already during the courting process. And that's what we found worked for the people that we ended up choosing. I am going to wrap up, but we are hiring a social media manager, and if you are interested, please email nick@stratoscard.com. You'd be working with a few agencies and us and our internal marketing team to help us launch and keep the talk going. With that, we could take some questions. I'm actually going to bring up Nick Bognar here. He works with us. He's our marketing program manager. We're on the client side of the agency table with Stratos, but I've also been on the agency side with Detroit Labs as well. But if you guys have any questions.
All right, well first let's give Henry a round of applause. Thank you. We have plenty of time. Do we have some questions for Henry? I'll bring around the microphone if you have some questions. I'll have one to get us started. Henry, what was the time frame on this?
A long time.
Yeah, I think you should lay ahead 2 to 4 months. That's what one of our board members said, to do it right. We actually went through 2 rounds of choosing agencies, but the first one we did in about 4 months.
Yeah, it took 4 months, and the reason we went through 2 rounds is we actually, had a good pitch, had a good agency, and then they dropped the ball, and then we had to find another one, so we actually had to do 2 rounds of this.
Anybody feeling?
Great presentation, super. I have been on both sides of this, both receiving and also pitching. And the line I once heard, so I had to give it myself, was, "You people all sound alike." I don't mean that to you, I mean to the agencies. Would you comment on "you people all sound alike"?
I mean, they sounded alike as far as offering the same thing, same level of attention, a lot of the same, I guess, offerings. You know, there weren't there many variations. Everyone said like Wall Street Journal and TechCrunch and things like that. And then a lot of them kind of talked about themselves quite a bit, which is fine. I don't know, the differentiation was for us like when they went through our specific stuff.
Yeah, right. I think a lot of them offer the same services and then also say they have the same relationships, which, you know, it's kind of funny because the PR and journalist relationship, it's kind of behind the scenes, and as a client, you don't know that, but they're all saying they're best friends with so-and-so in the national space, so it's really hard for us to cut through that clutter.
Can you talk briefly about the process of preparing to even get to the point where you're ready to contact the agencies? I mean, how much time was spent internally just to get to that point where you're ready to put information out?
Yeah, so I think Henry touched on it quite a bit. The actual referral process from one of our board members is really familiar with a lot of the marketing agencies, stuff like that. So we relied on them to actually put together, I think, 10 to 12 agencies that we wanted to look at based on referrals. From there, we actually went on their websites to take a look at their clients, see if we can talk to somebody at those companies. And then from there, we reached out. We did an RFI, which is request for information, which was 5 to 7 questions basically on their experience and, you know, what they think about our program, if they have the bandwidth. And then from there, we talked to them on the phone and then RFP.
You said a lot of interesting things, but I think the most interesting thing I've heard is when you just said that what you've been referring to as the good agency dropped the ball. And I was kind of curious as to how, after now finding a new agency that it sounds like you've kept, what sort of endeared that you still call them a good agency even though you had to let them go and they screwed up? What were they doing that still made you feel that way?
They were good during the pitch process, so I guess I should clarify. They were good at the pitch process and really, like, even after they were our agency, they were really good to us. It's just we you know, in our specific scenario, I mean, we had raised some money and we wanted to do an announcement of our funding. Well, for us, it just fell below the line of what we found acceptable. And then as such, you know, after some back and forth, and, you know, that's when things, you know, that's when we needed to divert, when we found out that we needed to go different direction. But I mean, they were still nice, and they're still actually pretty helpful today too.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I mean, they're a good agency, but we realized over time that there's agencies that are more familiar with our space and products. You know, we kind of used our funding announcement as kind of to test them before our product announcement, because the product announcement is very important for us. And we weren't happy with the results we were seeing with the brand announcement, so from there we decided we were going to go through the process again.
Yeah, I mean, having said that, I mean, there was errors on both of our sides, so you know, we learned some lessons as well. So it was definitely just a collective improvement that we needed to make.
Thank you. I have another question over here.
My biggest takeaway is that any correspondence and follow-up should add value, not just checking in with you to see if you made a decision, but add some value. Saw a recent article that I think would be of interest to you and relates to what we were talking about, so thank you. That's a very good point. Looking in the consumer electronic space, did you ever have any of the agencies tell you, we already represent ABC company, who would feel that hiring you would be a conflict of interest, so we'll have to pass?
Yeah, actually, we went through the RFP process with an agency out west. We were out to lunch with them. We had a really good meeting. They were our top choice at the time. We came home, then we sent them a document on there's in the space. There's something that's in technical side of things that's emerging in payments, and they represent a client that is pushing for EMV adoption in the U.S. And at the time, we were against that. We've changed our opinions early, but we told them that, you know, we were planning. We sent them a document that basically said, "Hey, this is our plan to fight this cause." And then they said, "Oh, well, looks like we can't work with you because that's a conflict of interest."
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but as far as just in the consumer electronics space itself, we're working on something that it's not a wearable, it's not like a Fitbit or anything like that. It's a little bit different, so we've been able to avoid, at least on the product side, any conflicts.
All right, you got time for one more question?
Thanks for talking, it was really insightful. The question I have, I guess, is that the agencies you were looking at, you said you're looking at ones that kind of already played in that space to begin with. Did you ever consider any that were maybe not playing in that space already, but were looking to get into that space? Is that something that crossed your mind? Like, the company I work for, we're trying to expand, but we don't have a lot of portfolio for, you know, this space we're trying to expand into, I guess. So it's kind of like cart before the horse. It's like, well, you know,
Yeah.
you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, I guess. Is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, in our particular situation, I mean, we need this, we need to minimize risks where we can. And we certainly take a lot of risks operating our business. But one thing that we didn't feel like we needed to take a risk on was, you know, trying out things that we didn't need to gamble on. And for us, it was just a huge risk factor that we would choose a firm that wouldn't be able to, that didn't have the history of executing. See, marketing is kind of hard, right? So if you're a mobile app agency, you could say, okay, what apps did you work on? You could download the app and you're like, okay, this sucks, or it's great. And you could look at it, you could use it. For marketing, all you have is the logos. You have a promise that they will do the best work for you, but you don't know. So for us, we needed a little more data point.
You know, just to add to that though, there were a couple of agencies we looked at that didn't have experience in the consumer electronics space, but we did still consider them because they were able to take use cases from other clients and apply them to what we're kind of trying to do. Maybe it's not in the same space, but it's the same kind of program. That's what I would suggest in like your proposal, is trying to apply those use cases into that client's experience or what they're going into.
That's one.
All right,
final question.
real quick.
Yeah, real quick. Did either of your agencies, you've had two, right? Did either of them produce a release of, say, 600 words or so that was picked up verbatim?
Can you clarify a little bit more?
Well, in other words, a story that you truly control, something as large as 600 words, 800 words, gets released and is picked up verbatim by important media.
I don't think we had any experiences with that.
I mean, you know, we've done news releases and like maybe 1 or 2 times, and you know, the appropriate news release bot would pick that up. But as far as you know, us writing content and someone publishing it as if it were an article or anything like that, that hasn't happened. I don't even know if that should happen.
I've done that of them. 600, 800 words picked up by 200 to 300 newspapers across the country and posted. So it can be done. Raise your bar.
All right, so thank you. I appreciate it. We could thank Henry and Nick again one more time for putting in the And I'm sure you're both going to stick around for a few minutes, so hopefully afterwards, if you have some more questions, come up and introduce yourself. So this is the time. We've got about 15 minutes. We go around the room and introduce ourselves. So for the newer people, you have the opportunity to stand up, tell us your name, your company, if you have an ask or a want, if you can share that real quick, and then pass the microphone to the next person. We'll get around the room and we'll be out of here in less than 15 minutes. We'll start right here.
Hi, I'm Tasha Moore with Martopia, and we are a marketing and public relations firm, primarily focusing in the technology space with a lot of healthcare technology, as well as financial services and some others. We also do some consumer products, and we not only work directly with clients, but we do work with some marketing partners who may not have a PR arm and serve as their PR arm. So anyone that has an interest in that area, please let me know.
Good afternoon, I'm Chaz Moeller from Mo Design, Managing Partner. We do a lot of work with the University of Michigan, small corporations, a lot of nonprofits. Illustration, branding is core business. So we can help somebody out if they have those needs.
Hi, I'm Alyssa Daniel. I work at Michigan Radio. I do corporate support there, so we work with a lot of businesses and nonprofits to connect with the public radio audience here in Michigan.
Hi, my name's Conroy. I am a digital marketing consultant. So if you're trying to market your brand online and you want to talk about how to do that better, just come up and talk to me. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Anna Magdal, and I also work at Michigan Radio and Corporate Support.
Hi, I'm Kathy Wilder. I'm recently retired as a development officer with the University of Michigan Law School, and I'm currently working with my brother in Williston, North Dakota on a social media marketing project in his independent bookstore.
Hi, my name is David Coleman. I work for Brand New. We help brands and retailers manage pricing and presentation online. I have an ask. I need some help with the GUI interface for a customer web portal.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Troy. I'm with Digital Image Studios. We are a creative studio, basically, so we service ad agencies, but we also kind of act as an agency for companies that don't have agencies. I'm an account manager with them, so any kind of creative work, 3D animation, broadcast, digital, anything like that, come see me.
Hi, my name is George Beecham, and I help out with the marketing and promotions at Extra Global.
Hi everybody, I'm Stacy. I'm with Dollar Bill, local digital print shop here in Ann Arbor. We love to do brochures, flyers, everything we do is very fast and cost effective. And my ask is, I'm on the board, many boards, one of them is sorry, wrong hat. United Way Power of the Purse. We have a big event coming up on March 11th, and we're short on purses this year. We silent auctioned purses to help women in Washtenaw County, and we're having trouble getting purse donations. So if anybody has a brand new purse in their closet with tags on, let me know. Or if you just want to go out and buy a purse and donate it, let me know.
My name is Jeremy from Ann Arbor Amateur Hockey Association. We have a Try Hockey for Free Day on February 21st. It's totally free. We're going to have coaches on the ice and everything. We're looking for like 4 to 9-year-olds, but any other kid is welcome to that. And then also we have a silent auction on March 14th and 15th. So if anybody would like to donate some items to that, get in touch. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Courtney Morrow. I'm the graphic designer at Ingenix Digital Marketing.
Hi, I'm Allison Moore. I'm a content strategist at Ingenix Digital Marketing.
Hi, my name is Blake Belanga. I'm a junior at the University of Michigan, enrolled in the School of Information, and I'm interning at Ingenix for this winter term.
Hi, I'm Joey. I work with a lot of startups, usually through incubators like in Midland or Spark here in Ann Arbor or TechTown. Automation Alley, I work with their clients to help them have their clients get off their marketing off the ground.
Hi, I'm Emily Boney, and I'm a content strategist, I'm a content producer, just kidding. Allison's a strategist, I just right. Anyways, for Ingenix Digital Marketing. And I was also live tweeting today, so if you want to follow along at any LA2Ms, it's at LA2M.
Scott Westerman, the alumni guy at MSU. Spartans helping Spartans. If you are a Spartan or know a Spartan, we live to enrich their lives to the point where they get so rich they write us checks.
Hi, I'm Paul. I'm with Q. We're a design, marketing, communications firm here in Ann Arbor.
Hi, I'm Dennis Huffman. I'm a senior account management business development professional. I specialize in building long-term trusted relationships with clients through a consultative sales approach. And by that I mean I underpromise, overdeliver. My key areas of emphasis are advertising, branding, and communications. But on the other end of the spectrum, I'm looking more and more into senior care opportunities.
Hey everybody, I'm Pat Schutte with Aisling. We're based out of the old Borders headquarters over by the airport, and we deal in Adobe Digital Asset Management and Woodwing Publishing. We also have a PR and marketing agency that we're getting off the ground here, and look forward to any input from anybody. Thank you.
I'm Trisha McCarty. I'm an account manager at Steve's Custom Signs, and we do custom signs as well as custom clothing or any kind of promotional materials that you might need. If you have need, just come and see me.
Hi, I'm Francisco Laguerre with Lego Print Mail Marketing. We provide design, web, digital marketing, print, ad specialty, and mail services.
I'm Roger Rail. I help here in several other networking groups. And one of the places I'll be videoing tomorrow is Annual Collaboration for Entrepreneurship.
ACE 15, which will be at Burton Manor in Livonia, where about 800 to 1,000 entrepreneurs and investors and service providers get together and network and schmooze and attend breakout sessions and listen to a keynote. And then there's like 10 young companies that are pitching for a pitch competition too. So that'll be where I will be tomorrow. And I think I'm going to read what Alan says here, because Alan says, "Hi, my name is Alan Borden. I can hear fine, but I can't speak due to damage from a 1993 car accident. I'm a former music educator, college choir director, looking for a career change beginning with Palmer Production Group, since the demand for mute choir directors is non-existent." So thanks for coming, Alan.
Hi, I'm Keith Vandenbush. I'm with the firm FTC&H Engineering. We do a lot of work in the area with U of M and throughout southeast Michigan for environmental, building and civil engineering, and we handle marketing and business development.
You should go last.
Yeah.
Get over that.
You're last. No, I'm
Nobody's going to follow you.
Thanks, Hi, I'm Andrea Kelly. I'm the Marketing Operations Manager at Ingenix Digital Marketing, also helping out here. And we are hiring, so check out our website at Ingenix.
My name's Kyle Molka. I work on a web-based Twitter chat tool. It's called tchat.io.
I am Curtis Sherline, Frog Print Studios, and I'm a commercial editorial and portrait photographer. From executive portraits to products of all sizes, events. Shoot this, I'll be at ACE tomorrow. Managed to be in all the breakout rooms at the same time. It's with neat tricks if you get to see that, if you're there running from room to room. And the images I shoot of these meetings will go on the group's Facebook page. I do have last week's to get up still too. I'll try to get those both up today.
All right, thank you very much. Great to get around the room. Great to see all the great people here today. So thank you for coming. Again, thank you to Henry and Nick for being here today. Henry's time is very valuable. I know he's in demand and he's constantly traveling around. So one more time, if we could thank Henry for being here. Henry's an alumni of not only MSU, but sorry, hard to say that sometimes, but he's also LA2M. He's been here and he's a big supporter, so we appreciate his time being here, and thanks, Nick, for joining in and helping out. So we're glad everybody's here today. I want to introduce next week's speaker. We're going to have another great speaker next week, and it's and I'll butcher his name, so I'm sorry, hopefully he's not looking online right now, but it's Jordan Warcheka from Backstitch, and he's going to be here discussing how to market expertise on the cheap. So if you are a market expert in your field, it's a great opportunity to get here and hear how you can do that on a low budget. So again, thank you for being here today. We appreciate it. Mary Lou, thank you again. Your last time, but hopefully we'll see you again soon. So thanks everyone, have a great day, and we'll see you soon.
Okay.